In the next step, we'll take a look at creating users, or more specifically, purchasers. So let's look at purchasers. In other words, we want to create front-end users. This also includes creating a user group. To do this, we use the Actions button, then User Groups in the shop. There, we can first create either a user group or a budget group. At the top, create a new entry. The user group can be named. In my case here, it's called Administration. Later on, these could be different purchasers, different locations, or similar distinctions. So if users differ, we assign them to different user groups. This way, for example, I can pre-fill the billing address in the shopping cart later on. Or I can show or hide certain items for a user group or specific shipping data. All of this happens at the user group level. Here, we are creating a user group called Administration. And then there's another important setting here, namely, what can the users of this user group see later in the shop front end? What a user of each user group can see refers to data records that we can store. For example, in personalization, there are so-called personalization databases where data records can be stored. And based on this setting, it is determined whether, for example, the users of the user group share these data records, or whether each user can only see and edit their own data. This also applies, for example, to image personalization. For example, I have a business card with a portrait and I upload my picture there. Then only I can see and edit my own picture, and the others in this user group cannot. All right, then let's save. This also comes up quite often for us in administration. Here I can set what should happen after saving. In this case, I want to return to the overview. So the user group administration has been created. We can see it has received an ID and there are no users yet. And now we would create such a user, a front-end user, by clicking on Users here. Later on, there are different ways for a user to enter the system. For example, we have the option to export or import users. There is a self-registration feature that can be activated. Then users can create their own accounts via the front end. And there are interfaces such as the SSO interface, single sign-on. For example, users are created with us via a link from external software. Now we're going to take the manual route. Here, we create a new user in the user group administration, add a new entry. And now I can assign a username here, a password, and of course the relevant data for the user. I'll enter my first and last name here again. These details, for example, will be pre-filled in the shopping cart at the delivery address. Or I even have the option in personalization, so when the user logs in and opens their business card, first and last name could already be pre-filled from the user data. That's enough for us for the first step. We'll save once and then we can, as we call it, use the support login. There it is. When I click the button, I can log into the portal as this user. So basically, later on, you can log in as that person without knowing their password. That's what's called the support login. And now, for the first time, we can also see the homepage. Here's the slider that we uploaded. The homepage text, we had said welcome, which is fixed in the template. We had stored the homepage text. We can also take a look at the contact page. As mentioned, the operator data will then be displayed on this page. Yes,